All right, we're talking about Star Trek Enterprise and why Star Trek should resurrect Trip Tucker and completely ignore the final episode of Enterprise. And I want to start this off with, I completely agree with everything that's going to be said here today. Completely.
You do?
I think the final episode of Star Trek Enterprise was a fine one-off episode or whatever, but it was such a total toss in the towel, weak, sort of. It's hard to explain. It was such a bad way for that series to go out. It paid so little homage to the series that built up to it. It didn't it was like the showrunners were like, I'm just gonna we gotta quickly finish this because we were canceled.
That's not what it was, though. And honestly, I there's a lot of problems with the Enterprise, but Rick,
Berman,
Rick Berman and Rick Berman really wanted the finale of Enterprise to be good, and he and his co-showrunner, who Brandon Braga, they actually they wrote it themselves because they wanted it to be good. And the problem was they were just a little bit too absent from the community. And now, years later, they can admit that there was a mistake the way they ended Enterprise. They didn't realize that they weren't giving Enterprise its due by ending it on the holodeck of TNG.
With Frakes.
And I know what they were talking about. I know what they were trying to do, because it was like, okay, this is the same era, Berman-verse era of Star Trek. But a lot of people didn't think that way about Enterprise. Like, they thought Voyager and DS9 were the end of Berman-verse, and Enterprise was something different. So while Berman thought Enterprise was part of his, what he did with Next Generation and all that, he kind of thought it was all one big family and this would be okay. But that's not the way fans looked at Enterprise. Enterprise was kind of a different thing. And so it took something away from Enterprise when they basically said it was a holodeck story that, Riker was watching, and it's
that is so cheap. It's so cheap to me.
I can see how you might think it's clever, right? And how that could be a clever thing, but it really does cheapen the whole story of this. And later on, they would go on to say it was a mistake, but they did put their best foot forward to try to tell a good story. And they were being canceled, not because they necessarily wanted to. They needed to stop doing Star Trek. They were not telling good stories. But the guys who were telling it, people like Terry Matalas and some of the other people who were at the time kind of running Enterprise, had a lot of great stories to tell still.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame we didn't get more of it. So, which is why, and hashtag Terry Trek, Terry Matalas, if you're watching this, just know we want you to do to Enterprise what you're doing for Star Trek Picard Season 3 and finishing out the TNG story. We want you to come and finish the Enterprise story. So just hold on to that, Terry. He's probably going, what the heck? This one hasn't even come out yet. But listen, after you guys watch Picard Season 3, you're going to want him to finish the Enterprise story. And I think it's still possible to do. What do you think?
Yeah, dude, think about this. You can literally say that the last episode of Enterprise was just an episode of TNG. So we never even got the finale.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to bring back Enterprise in the way it was before.
Right.
But I think you could do some sort of revival that carries on the story and even brings, Admiral
Archer,
forward. So
there's
crazy.
Some things you can do. You can literally bring Trip back too, right?
You could. You absolutely could. He's a great sci-fi actor.
And you think about this. You bring him back, you resurrect Trip, and you go, and you just have a one-line thing like there's a point in the first episode where he almost dies. You're like, whoo, that was close. He goes, and someone's like, that was so close. Some people might mistake you for dead there, bud, and just keep moving on. Almost like the holodeck story just got the story wrong.
Right.
And you just move on. You can literally reboot this whole thing, do the temporal wars with Admiral, Archer, have Trip be a part of it, dude. I mean, like, let's be honest. What's her name? T'Pol, whatever her name is, I forgot the actress.
Oh yeah, Jolene Blaylock.
Jolene Blaylock ain't doing nothing, bro. No one's working. She was like, I don't want to do any more Star Trek because people are gonna only know me for Star Trek. Then she immediately stopped working.
Yeah, people only know you from Star Trek. I'm sorry.
Right, it's all Jeffrey Combs. You know he's still doing Star Trek. He'll come back 100%, bro. And we need more Shran. We need more Shran. Like, I don't know. There can 100% be a connective tissue, a series made after the fact. This might be the only time I say that a prequel would be worth it, only because we never really got to see the end of these characters. You know?
Yeah, they should also get a send-off, a proper send-off.
Right.
You know, so, but listen, let's start with one proper send-off at a time. So after February comes out and everybody's drying their eyes over Picard season 3, then we'll start talking about Enterprise.
Yeah, we start we go get a whole change.org thing going. Do it again.
Yeah, or we just everyone come down to Alex Kurtzman's office and say, "Listen, we need to talk."
Yeah, Scott Bakula is not working right now, and we need to finish Enterprise.
we couldn't get him back on Quantum Leap, and it's really frustrating us. So, can we get him back on Enterprise, please?
He's like, I don't even know Scott Bakula.
It's like, who? Scott who?
All right. Trip in the novels didn't die. He went into Section 31 and they faked his death. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, they did.
Let's do that.
But it's not canon. Sorry.
But why not? Let's do that.
I mean, you can make it canon, but it's not canon. Yeah. Section 31's tough, you know, although you can use Section 31, I guess. Just do the Daniels Future Guy stuff.
Yeah. They need to bring Trip back. Or I'm not going to read this whole article because it's not. You guys can go check it out. It's on Screen Rant. It's very good. It's a very good article, but I think we've said what we need to say here. They can totally bring Trip back, aka B. They can finish the send off for Enterprise. Like they can really do it correctly, and they don't. It doesn't have to be a new series. It can be a mini series or a little movie or even one of those short treks. Like you can definitely do a one-off episode of Enterprise where you sort of send these characters out correctly. And I think that fans would love it.
You need more than a one-off episode, though. You need more time than that. You need a movie.
A direct-to-streaming movie?
Something. You need something. And you could do it. You could do a revival, an Enterprise revival, that somehow ends it properly.
Yeah, you could. Now, the question is, will they ever? Well, I'll tell you this. I think that if Terry doesn't stick around, they won't.
True. Yeah,
right. That's true. So
it won't happen without him being around.
Everyone needs to watch Picard season 3 because A, it's amazing. B, we want more like it.
Yes.
All right.
That's it.